This time a year ago, not many people had heard the term coronavirus, and few, if any, knew anything about them other than research people and specialists. But today, coronavirus, COVID-19, China virus, the many names it has, is known by all of us. Let's have a look. What is it? What is COVID-19? Well, there has been coronaviruses around for a while, and most of them we've lived with. However, in December 2019 in Wuhan, in China, it was identified a new type of coronavirus, and this quickly spread throughout the world. It's a respiratory disease, so it attacks the respiratory system. It affects your upper respiratory tract or your lower tract. It spreads in the same way as other viruses do, person to person, and infections go from relatively mild to being quite fatal, deadly. There are a few of them around. The other coronaviruses cause most of the colds that affect us during the year, but aren't a serious threat for otherwise healthy people. However, this one is. So let's look at what the coronavirus is, where it comes from. All right, Ben, we can see in that picture there what it looks like. And the name is from the Latin, meaning crown or wreath. Okay, the name was coined first way back in 1968. No one had really heard of it until this year. Okay, so you can see that there's a little crown or a corona on top there, which is the deadly part. What are the symptoms? What do we need to know? Now, anyone at all can have mild to severe symptoms. However, older adults and people who have severe underlying medical conditions like heart or lung disease or diabetes seem to be at a higher risk for developing more serious things related to the COVID-19 illnesses. People with COVID-19 have a wide range of symptoms, and they can appear between 2 and 14 days after you contract the virus, which is why people go into quarantine for a fortnight. You can see the list of them there: fever, chills, coughs, shortness of breath, so on and so on. Now, the list, as it says, does not include all possible symptoms, and this information is from the CDC in America, Center for Disease Control, and it can be updated when you check their site. This is a coronavirus thanks to modern photography, electron microscopes around blood cells. All right, what's the difference between flu and COVID-19? Influenza or flu and COVID-19 are both contagious. That means they can be spread between people, but they're caused by different viruses. So they are not a bacteria, so you can't have an antibiotic for it. It's caused by an infection with a new coronavirus called SARS-2 or SARS-CoV-2. And the flu itself is caused by infection with influenza viruses, and there's many of them around, and they come around on an annual basis. While we are learning a fair bit as the weeks go by, there's still a lot unknown about this COVID-19 virus. But you can go to the CDC and get the latest information available. And this information here will show you older adults, people at risk, healthcare professionals, seasonal allergies, and so on. There isn't a vaccine, unlike flu vaccine or a flu shot that people get each year. There isn't one. There isn't a specific treatment for the coronavirus at this stage. And there are some things that can be taken. Aspirin should not be given to teens or younger than 19. You shouldn't take ibuprofen to treat symptoms, but the National Institutes of Health says people who have the virus can use non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. As I said before, antibiotics are not going to help because they treat bacteria and not viruses. Now, sometimes in severe cases, the immune system has been weakened to such an extent that bacterial infections do get into the system, so people are given antibiotics to treat a bacterial infection that came in with COVID-19. And there are various treatments and there are trials underway, and there's been some of those treatments, therapeutics they're called, have made the news and have given various results. And the Americans have generally issued emergency use only and other directives for the treatment of the coronavirus. So we don't know a lot about it, but certainly in science, and we're living through it now, that people are throwing a lot of energy and resources at it. It's had a huge impact on the world, you know that, and we're feeling it. One of the things that it's thrown up has been homeschooling or online learning. We know that you have to do. And social distancing and wearing a mask when we're outside is now the normal for all of us. There have been some silly reactions by people who have panicked and led to shortages. Hopefully now that's over. But it has led to something that we know in Melbourne now, and that's the stage 4 lockdown. So in this unit, in this module, you're going to research and present your assessment piece on the corona or the COVID-19, the China virus, whatever the names it is, you're going to research it. You're going to try to separate opinions from fact, reactions based on opinions rather than data. So we're going to go off, we're going to try and research as much data as we can, see what the reaction has been, and see a possible roadmap out as is the current vernacular. Thank you.